Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So I really wanted my makeup to match my hair, so that's the vibe we're going for. To start off though, I'm gonna be doing my face first. Now this isn't something I normally do when I know I'm gonna be going in with colorful shadow, but I wanted to like change it up a little bit. So I started off with my face. I'm just priming it. This is the Smashbox oil primer. I think it's like the photo finish primer, I think. Could be wrong. But then after that, I'm going to be trying out the Juvia's Place Magic Concealer. And I'm going to use this first to carve out my eyebrows. I was having a really bad brow day, so they needed a lot of love and attention. So I'm going to be starting off with just carving those out and cleaning them up a little bit. And then once that's done, I'm gonna go into foundation. This is the foundation stick. Again, it was my first time using this product as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and just blend it out with a sponge. The sponge is a Wet n Wild sponge and it's by far my favorite sponge. I believe it's only like $4, which is so much, or not so much more, but it is even less than the Real Technique sponge that I do like, but this is by far my favorite sponge ever. Like I said, it's so affordable. I highly recommend it. 110%. And back in with concealer. This concealer, you guys, is so full coverage. I was shook. I kind of want to get the concealer in a shade that's even closer to my actual face shade instead of it being brightening, so that way I can like kind of spot correct on those days where I don't want to wear makeup. But I am also using that concealer as an eye primer, which I kind of regretted because since I've been using actual eye primer, I do have the ABH eye primer that I love. I feel like the eyeshadow didn't come out as good as it would if I would have used actual primer, so I regret doing that. I feel like it was just a waste of product because I wasn't going to do anything or go anywhere anyway. So I didn't feel like, wasting my product on being home. So that's why I just use this concealer as eye primer. And then after that, I'm going to go ahead and just set under my eyes and then in my T-zone area, just where I crease mainly. I try not to set my whole face because I am dry and textured, so I don't want to dry out my skin even more. I will say though, lately my foundation routine has been different and I have not been setting my face. And I'm loving it, so I'm thinking about doing a foundation routine video soon. Then after that, moving on to eyeshadow, I'm going to take the ABH Norvina palette, the volume 1, and I'm going to take that pink shade and I'm just going to focus it in that inner portion of the crease. First, what I was going to do was just have the pigment in this spot only, and then we'll see later that I do kind of start to flick it out and wing it. Eventually it goes all the way up to my hairline. That wasn't the initial plan, but it just sort of happened, and so that's how it goes sometimes. Now on a clean brush, I'm just gonna go ahead and start blending it out, and as it blends out, you can see what I'm saying. Like the pigment, it's just not there. It's not as opaque as I feel like it would have been using an eye primer. So even though I love the way this look came out, I feel like it could have been 10 times better if I had done the eyes before my foundation and if I would have used actual eye primer instead of my concealer. But you live and you learn. Mistake that I'm not going to be making again. So I just go back and forth, and then I go back into that red shade mixed in with the pink just to kind of try to darken it up a little bit. So I'm starting to flick it out. I go little by little, then eventually just goes all the way up into my hairline. And then this brush is clean. It didn't have any pigment on. I like to use a clean brush to help the blending process. And then going into the Modern Renaissance palette, again, I felt like it wasn't deep enough. So I am just deepening that up a little bit more. That face also was me reacting to a true crime episode, a podcast. So if you see me making those weird faces, that's what it is. So now for the blue side, this one was really frustrating, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna take the Zulu palette, and this teal shade that I've used many times before. I have never had any issues with it. As you can see, it's not the vibe. It's not a vibe. The pigment for some reason just was not working for me. So I had to keep building up the pigment, and then to deepen it up, I didn't get a clip of it, but to deepen up the blue shade, I did go ahead and take a shade from the ABH and Alyssa Edwards palette. It's the blue shade in there. I don't remember the name of the actual shade, but it's a blue shade in the palette to deepen up the green. And then just like the same exact same thing I did with the pink side, I'm just going back and forth to blending to build up the color, and then just blend that out all the way up to my hairline. And then since I learned my lesson without using an eye primer earlier, I did go in with the ABH eye primer to cut the crease. This brush I'm using is a Morphe brush, but it came in a set and it doesn't have a name on it, so I'm not sure what the name of the brush is. But the cut crease really does depend on the brush. With this one, I can just tap it in place and it gives me a really good shape. So that's just what I'm doing here. And then I that's a word. I set that in place with a shade from the ColourPop and Sailor Moon palette, but I regretted using this shade. You couldn't tell on camera, but it had a little bit of a sparkle to it, and I just wish I would have gone just with a straight matte shade with like my setting powder or something like that. I feel like that would have been better, but you know, whatever. Now for the blue side, I'm going to be doing a pink wing, so I'm just going in with those same exact colors that I used before, and I am using a paper edge to help me get that sharp, crisp line. You can use tape. I hate the feeling of tape on my skin. I don't know what it is. It makes me physically cringe up. Like I hate it. I think it's disgusting. So I like to use the paper method, and then I just go in with a smaller brush to deepen the lash line a little bit more. And then that's what we're just doing there. Just making a pink wing. And since I did want it a little feathered out, I am taking that brush and just lightly going over the edge to blend it. And then for the lower lash line, I take the exact same pink shades all over again and then just smoke it out underneath. And I didn't get too much into the blue wing, but I'm doing the exact same steps on the blue side. Well, I did the exact same steps, obviously. You guys get the point, I think, at this point, right? And now to finish my face, I'm gonna go ahead and take the Makeup Revolution Contour and Light palette. I think that's what it's called. And it's so weird because I've used this palette before, and I feel like this time it pulled a little bit warmer on me. I'm thinking it might have been the undertone to the foundation that I used, but I'm not sure why it pulled so warm on this day in particular, but it did. And then I'm just doing a little bit of nose contouring. And then blush, this is the shade Cat's Eye from the ColourPop and Sailor Moon collection. I love this blush. I need another one ASAP. And then for the first time ever, I'm using the Juvia's Place loose highlighter. I believe this is the shade Clio. I was editing and I was kind of upset that you couldn't tell how beautiful this highlight was, but I did put in a clip of me highlighting my nose. Here she is, and you can see the blindiness so much more. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love a nose highlight, love it. So just to make sure my lashes blend a little bit, I'm going to line my lash line with the ABH liquid liner. And then these lashes are from Lightly Makeup, and I believe they're detached. Yeah, they look like they're the detached style. So for lips, I'm gonna go ahead and line them with a dark brown liner. This one is from Pacifica and it's called Fringe. I don't know if it's an eyeliner or a lip liner, but I use it for my lips anyway because it is very creamy and it works. And then I'm going to take the NYX Suede lipstick and in the shade Satin Ribbon and kind of blend those two together. And then once that is done, the look is complete. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already. And if you already are, thank you from the bottom of my itty bitty hearts. I will have my Instagram down below so you can give me a follow. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.